The moment my sister's husband realized who I was, he actually screamed. He hadn't expected the person behind that desk to be me. But the story really started the night before. My younger sister, Ashley, sent a message in our family group chat. "Don't bring your kids to Thanksgiving dinner," she wrote. "My new husband says they'll make the whole day smell bad." Right after that, my parents reacted with likes. I stared at the screen for a second. My chest felt tight. Then I simply typed, "Understood." I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I just put the phone down. My life never went the way I once imagined, but I'm not ashamed of it. My ex-husband and I separated when my son Lucas was still wearing diapers. He's not a terrible dad. He sees the kids every other weekend, but the child support payments show up about as often as a comet. Bright, surprising, and very rare. Every Sunday night I sit at the kitchen table and go through the budget. Rent, daycare, gas, groceries. I know exactly how far every dollar stretches. I even know how many times you can refill a shampoo bottle with water before it gets ridiculous. My sister Ashley married Ryan in September. Ryan says he sells luxury showers. At least that's how he describes it. He posts motivational videos online at 5 in the morning, talking about grit and success. Sometimes he accidentally calls people S instead of sir. He also makes jokes like, "Single moms love milking the system." When he says it, he looks straight at me and smiles so wide it almost hurts to see. My parents adore Ashley, and now they adore Ryan too. He always brings a nice bottle of wine and acts like he stepped out of some expensive watch commercial. They glow every time he walks in. A week before Thanksgiving, my mom called me. "Sweetie," she said, "Ashley and Ryan are stopping by your bank tomorrow morning. Be helpful, okay?" I was stirring pasta and boiling water. "We have policies," I said. "I can be professional." "You know that," she sighed. "Just make it smooth for them. They want a mortgage pre-approval. They've been working so hard." I knew exactly how hard the underwriting department worked, and I knew we couldn't just stamp approvals. "Mom," I said quietly, "you always make things harder than they have to be." I didn't argue. I drained the pasta and set the phone down. My daughter Emma sat at the table cutting construction paper feathers for a school project. I told her she was doing a great job. Lucas asked if he could have 2 meatballs, and I said yes if he promised to eat his carrots too. We ate dinner together and watched a cartoon afterward. Once they were in bed, I laid out their clothes for the next morning. School for Emma, daycare for Lucas. Then I stuck a note on my purse. "Send class snack Friday." My phone lit up again, the family group chat. Ashley had written, "Just to be clear, no kids at dinner. Some of us are sensitive to smells, LOL." My dad reacted with a thumbs up. My mom added a champagne glass emoji. My thumb hovered over the screen. I felt something flicker behind my ribs. Anger, sadness, both. Finally, I typed one word. Understood. The next morning, Ashley and Ryan walked into my office. Ryan took one look at me sitting behind the desk and let out a full-on scream. It sounded like a toddler whose toy had just been taken away. Ashley grabbed his arm. "This is my sister," she said quickly. "I told you." He stared at me. I stared back. What I wanted to say was, "You texted that my kids would make Thanksgiving stink." Instead, I smiled politely. "Good morning," I said. "I'll have our loan officer join us." Ryan blinked and forced a smile that looked painful. "Great," he said through clenched teeth. "Family helping family." I buzzed Miguel, our loan officer. Miguel walked in with his legal pad and the calm expression of a man who had diffused 1,000 stressful situations. "Hi," he said. "I'm Miguel. Nice to meet you both." We all sat down. Ryan crossed one leg over the other and bounced his foot like he had more caffeine in his system than I had in my whole bloodstream. Miguel opened the application. "So," he said, "you're looking for a pre-approval for $525,000. Ryan grinned. "That's just the starting point." Miguel nodded. "Let's go through the basics. 2 years of tax returns, W-2s or 1099s, the last 2 months of bank statements, and we'll run your credit. Ryan laughed a little too loudly. Run it, he said. Let's do it. Ashley glanced at me and then quickly down at her hands. Behind my eyes, I felt pressure building, like steam in a kettle. I breathed slowly and stayed quiet. Miguel clicked through the forms and asked for authorization. While the system processed the credit report, he tried making small talk. You both work? Oh yeah, Ryan said proudly. I'm a contractor. I make serious money. This is just a formality. Miguel nodded again. The printer started humming and spitting out pages. I knew the exact moment people realized the numbers weren't what they hoped for. The room always went strangely still. Miguel scanned the report. His eyebrows twitched, even though he tried to keep them still. Okay, he said carefully. So the credit score here is 589. There are some late payments, a charged-off credit card, and a repossession from 2 years ago. Ryan laughed again, but it sounded forced. That's wrong, he said quickly. That can't be right. Miguel continued gently. Also, the income reported on last year's tax return is fairly low. Ryan leaned forward. I do cash jobs, he said. Everyone in my field does cash. That's why we came to family. She can fix this. Both of them looked at me. My heart thumped once in my chest. In my head, I heard Lucas laughing. I pictured Emma's hands covered in marker ink. I can't fix anything, I said calmly. We follow policy. Miguel handles the loan process. I looked at Miguel. I'm recusing myself. Ryan's jaw tightened. So you can't do anything, he said. Good to know. Miguel stayed professional. There are steps you can take, he explained. Pay off the collections, lower your credit utilization, and show consistent income on your tax returns. If you're self-employed, we need 2 full years of filed returns. Then we can revisit this. Ryan shook his head. We're not waiting. The market's moving fast. We already made an offer yesterday. We need the pre-approval today. Miguel kept his voice steady. I'm sorry. With these numbers, we can't issue that. Ryan turned toward me as if Miguel had vanished. Call your boss. I am the branch manager. Then override it, he said. Use your discretion. We're family. You owe us. My eyes narrowed. For what exactly? For all the times we've invited you. For everything we've done for you. He waved his hand vaguely. Your parents said you'd help. I became aware of the quiet noise outside the office. The teller line. The buzz of fluorescent lights. My cheeks felt hot. I can't override underwriting guidelines, I said evenly. And I wouldn't even if I could. It wouldn't be ethical. Ryan leaned back and laughed. Ethical, he repeated like the word tasted bad. Ashley finally spoke. Can you at least hurry the process? She asked. Write something saying we're good for it. Mom said you can write letters. No, I said. That's not how it works. Ryan's voice dropped lower. So you're just going to sit there after telling us we can't bring kids to Thanksgiving because it'll smell? You told me that, I said quietly. He blinked. For a moment his expression changed, like he suddenly realized who had actually said it. Then the anger came back. We have standards, he muttered. That's not the point, he continued quickly. The point is, you're blocking our future over paperwork. Miguel stood up. Let's take a short break, he said calmly. I'll give you 2 a minute. He stepped out of the office and closed the door. The room felt smaller immediately. I'm not blocking anyone's future, I said slowly. I pay my rent. I clip coupons. I keep my kids clean, fed, and on time. And I come to work and follow rules that protect people. Ashley looked annoyed. Why are you being so dramatic? Dramatic? I laughed, and the sound felt strange in my throat. You texted that my kids smell, I said. You, Mom, and Dad all reacted like it was funny. It was a joke, Ashley said quietly. Ryan is sensitive. He doesn't like diapers. Lucas is potty trained, I said. And Emma has never, I stopped myself. You know what? I don't have to explain my kids to you. Ryan suddenly stood up. His chair scraped loudly across the floor. We're wasting time, he snapped. He pointed at my desk. Write the letter or call your parents and tell them you refused. I will, I said calmly. And I'll also document that you asked us to misrepresent your application. He took a step toward me. Everything inside me went cold. My face stayed calm, but under the desk my hands curled into fists. Right then the door opened and Miguel stepped back in, like he had been waiting nearby. Okay, he said. Next steps. We'll deny this application for now, but once the issues are addressed. No, Ryan snapped. We'll take our business somewhere else. That's your right, Miguel replied. I'll print the denial letter for your records. Ryan glared at me. You did this, he said. You're bitter. That's why your husband left you. He left because he cheated, I said quietly. Please, leave my office. Ryan slammed his hand on the desk. A pen bounced off the surface. Out in the lobby, someone turned their head. Security, I said calmly. That one word was enough. The guard at the front, who knows me and my kids by name, stood up and walked toward the office. Ryan scoffed. You think I'm scared? I think you're done here, I said. Ashley grabbed his arm. Ryan, let's go. Then she looked at me, her voice small. You should apologize to Mom, she said, for embarrassing us. The security guard appeared in the doorway with an apologetic smile. Folks, he said gently, if you could head out. Ryan started toward the door, then turned back and hissed, You'll regret this. I'll make sure your parents cut you off, and don't bring your animals to my house again. Something inside me cracked and settled at the same time. They're not animals, I said quietly. They're children. My children. Ryan stormed out. Ashley followed him. At the doorway she paused and whispered, You always ruin everything. Then she was gone. I sat there in the quiet office. Miguel closed the door softly and placed the denial letter on my desk. I'm sorry, he said. Not your fault, I replied, though my voice shook. You did the right thing, he said. HR will want a report, but we'll back you up. Thank you. I stared at a small smear of dirt on the floor where Ryan's shoe had dragged. It still hurt, but under the pain there was something clear and steady. My phone buzzed. Mom, what did you do? Dad, unbelievable. Ashley, you owe us. I locked the screen. In the bathroom, I splashed water on my face and looked at myself in the mirror. For the first time in a long time, I looked like someone who knew exactly where her line was. That afternoon, HR took my statement. Miguel gave his. Even the teller who saw Ryan slam my desk wrote a note. The bank sent me home early. On the drive to pick up the kids, I sat in the car with my head resting on the steering wheel. My phone kept buzzing, but I turned it off. I picked up Emma and Lucas. We made grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup. Are we seeing Grandma on Thursday? Emma asked. Not this Thursday, I said. Why? Because we're doing something different this year, I said. We're having Thanksgiving with Miss Patel upstairs and her boys. We'll make mac and cheese and watch the parade. Emma nodded like that sounded perfectly fine. Lucas lifted the spoon and asked, Can I stir? I handed it to him. The next day, my mom called while I was in the break room. You humiliated us, she said immediately. Ryan said you called security. He was yelling and refusing to leave, I said. It's my workplace. You should have helped them. You know their situation. I know their numbers, I replied. And I won't lie. You're always so cold, she said. Family helps family. Family doesn't mean I commit fraud, I said quietly. And family doesn't mean someone can call my kids animals. There was silence. Then she said, You're being sensitive. I'm being a mother, I said. We're not coming to Thanksgiving. Please don't ask again. She hung up. A minute later, my dad texted, Think long and hard about this. You'll regret isolating yourself. My hands shook while I read it. I opened my banking app. The numbers looked the same as yesterday. Rent was due in 8 days. Car insurance on Friday. I picked up 2 extra shifts at the drive-through window. I listed an old stroller online. I sorted through clothes the kids had outgrown to donate and sell. On Thanksgiving morning, we watched the parade in our pajamas. At noon, Miss Patel knocked on the door holding a casserole dish and wearing a ridiculous inflatable turkey hat. Her boys played with my kids while we ate mac and cheese at the coffee table. It came out perfect. After they left, Emma fell asleep in my lap. Later that afternoon, Ashley posted a photo online. A long table with gold decorations. The caption said, "Elegance over chaos." My mom commented with heart-eye emojis. I didn't respond. I folded laundry. I read Lucas's dinosaur book 3 times. The ache was still there, but that clean feeling was still there too. It hurt, but it also felt like fresh air. A week later, Miguel handed me a copy of the denial letter that had been mailed. "They filed a complaint," he said. "HR handled it, you're fine." "Thanks." That evening, I opened my mailbox and found an envelope. Inside was a late child support check. Not much, but enough to help. I paid the car insurance. I bought Emma new sneakers on sale. Then I fixed our wobbly kitchen table with a folded placemat and laughed at myself for thinking I could fix everything. 2 months later, my mom texted, "We'd like to see the kids Saturday." I stared at the message for a long time before answering, "Yes, park at 2 p.m. Ground rules. No comments about smells, behavior, or my parenting. If that's a problem, we don't meet." She replied, "Okay, we just want to see them." We met at the park. My dad brought the big bubble wand the kids love. My mom stayed quiet the whole time. No comments about stains or noise. After an hour, we said goodbye. It wasn't fixed, but it was civil. A week later, Ashley texted me for the first time since the bank incident. "Sorry if we offended you," she wrote. "Ryan is particular." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I replied, "I won't be insulted in my own family. My kids aren't optional. I won't co-sign loans, push approvals, or pretend everything is fine when it's not. I want peace, but not at the cost of respect." She replied with a single letter. Okay, that was it. It hurt. But it also made space. This year I'm hosting a small Thanksgiving. Miss Patel will come. Miguel and his wife too. My kids are making place cards. If my parents want to join us, they can bring green beans and leave their judgment at the door. The lesson is simple. Helping someone doesn't mean bending your ethics, and love doesn't mean letting people humiliate your children. Boundaries are not punishment.